Late last February and into early March, an area of high pressure over Siberia brought some phenomenal weather to the UK. It was nicknamed the Siberian Bear by the Dutch and the Snow Cannon by the Swedes, but in the UK we refer to the abnormal blanketing of the country as the Beast from the East. With up to 22 inches of snow falling in parts of the UK during the worst weather for 30 years, it was a very difficult few weeks for those who were unprepared.
We didn't believe any of the weather forecasters, which was possibly a little naive.
Even though you'd clear the drift, because the winds kept blowing the snow, it kept just bringing the snow back off the fields and onto the roads again.
It morphed into this extremely strong easterly wind, and you got the drifts and you got the intense cold. So roads that had been cleared suddenly became blocked again.
The Beast from the East spanned from between the 25th of February and the 2nd of March 2018. It came about because we had an area of high pressure developing over Scandinavia, and on the southern flank of that, easterly winds brought the very cold air in from Siberia right the way across much of Europe. So it wasn't just the UK that experienced it, but much of mainland Europe as well. And we saw temperatures, well below freezing for many days during that spell. The worst parts of the UK that were affected by that, at least initially, were Eastern England. So Norfolk and Suffolk in particular getting a lot of snow.
It was where the particularly cold part of the air mass was that came to us. So one of the interesting things with East Anglia is that we're surrounded by the North Sea. And the North Sea has a big effect on how winter weather behaves for us, because the energy to make big snowstorms comes from the sea, the warmth of the sea. And at the start of the winter, the sea has quite a bit of energy in it. And gradually that declines. So as you get towards Easter time, sort of slightly less cold, less extreme. But the point is, this time of the winter, now, sort of Beast of the East time, the sea's got warmth that's enough to make these big snow showers, which is why they tend to favour the bits around the coast.
During the Beast from the East we had strong winds, and that caused the snow to drift, and so some of the drifts were 9 feet deep in some places, and it completely blocked roads and railways for several days. And even though you'd clear the drift, because the winds kept blowing the snow, it kept just bringing the snow back off the fields and onto the roads again.
Where the gaps were in the hedges, the wind, which obviously came from the east, seeing as it was the Beast from the East, blew the snow across the roads, so we had huge snow drifts. We managed to pull a few people out of the snow, and there was one amazing lady who's a community nurse, and she was trying to visit, I think she said she got 20 people to visit in one day, and she'd got most of the way down a road but got stuck just at the last point, so we managed to pull her to safety as well so she could keep doing her rounds. It soon became apparent on the Wednesday, Thursday during that week that people had not prepared at all for the weather. We didn't believe any of the weather forecasters, which was possibly a little naive. So we put a message out on social media saying if people had run out of supplies, so fresh milk, eggs, meat, bread, things like that, then we were happy to come and deliver. And that resulted in a lot of telephone calls and messages. So we ended up driving around Norfolk for 3 days doing good deeds. In terms of how many people we saw, I would think we probably saw about 80 to 100 homes. We did deliver to one older lady who didn't have anything in terms of fresh food that she could eat. She also had run out of tea and she'd run out of bread, so as well as delivering from our shop, I also stopped at another shop along the way so I could get some other basic supplies.
I think many people have learnt lessons from the Beast from the East. Certainly this year there's been a lot more preparedness from many sides of things, such as the train operators, etc. So we're more prepared for snow this year. We haven't had snow anywhere near as bad as last year, but the winter is still young, still another month or so where we could get some further snow coming our way.